Hi guys, welcome to another Barb Stamps video. Today I've got a fun, bright, springy card for you that uses the Garden Impressions suite from the brand new catalog. And the suite includes the Abstract Impressions stamp set, the Springtime Impressions Thinlit, and the Garden Impressions 6x6 Designer Series paper stack. And can we just take a moment and appreciate the beauty of this paper? Look at all these amazing floral patterns and look at these colors. We've got some shaded spruce, some melon mambo, the blueberry bushel, we've got some mango melody, we've got some petal pink, oh my gosh, we've got some night of navy. Look at that, just gorgeous. And then you flip it over and you have all these abstract patterns that I think are going to just work beautifully with lots of other products that we have. We also have the metallic ribbon combo pack with the shaded spruce and the petal pink. And I just wanted to kind of quickly show you guys how I open my ribbons. Sometimes they can be a bit of a bugger. So I just kind of press my fingers and then push them up so that the little plastic sheet comes to the top, and then I just snip it. And then here I have my ribbon free. And look at that. Look at the gorgeous sheen of this ribbon. Same with this one. It's just so pretty. I think this is going to be a lot of fun. All right, so we're going to be using some of our, oh, I should talk a little bit about the dies. This is what the dies look like. I've got my piece of white cardstock in there with the 3 die cuts so you can see exactly how they're going to come out when you run them through the Big Shot. Really cool. I love this corner image here. This is going to be a lot of fun to do in a lot of different colors, and maybe even watercoloring some white paper just to kind of get a kind of a rainbow look. I think that's going to be really cool. So we're going to use this little guy today in our project, and we're also going to be using some of our new colors. So we've got the soft sea foam, the shaded spruce, the mango melody, the blueberry bushel, and we're bringing in our old or our returning color, the melon mambo. And this I do have in the old style pad. I just wanted to quickly show you guys a little trick with your new style pads. I like to use some wax paper. So this is the shaded spruce pad. I've opened it once or twice, and it opens like a makeup compact, and they're a little stiff in the beginning, and then you're supposed to slide them into place. Well, when they're new, plastic is just not that, it doesn't like to work. It doesn't like to go. So what I do is I take some wax paper and I just rub it on the edge here. All along that edge, all along this edge over here. Get some wax on there, and then I come in and I also rub it in the channel on both sides. Okay. And then my pad will begin to operate a lot more smoothly. So that's a good tip for you. All right. So moving on, let's get our cardstock pieces out. I've got a 8.5 by 11 piece of our Whisper White thick cardstock. I've got a 1 1/4 inch by 5.5 inches soft sea foam. I think it's soft sea foam. Yes, sometimes I can't remember the new colors. A little scrap of blueberry bushel, a little scrap of our Sizzix multi-purpose adhesive sheets. These come 6 by 12, and then I just cut them down to be the size that I need because I'm going to be using this small flower from the die set, so we'll set that right there. I've also got one of our Whisper White envelopes because I'm going to decorate the envelope for this card. And then I've got multiple stamps from the stamp set. We're going to use the large, bold image of the rose, the medium image of the rose, this sentiment here. We're going to use this little guy here, the double flowers here. We're going to use this as a leaf rather than as a butterfly overlay, and then we're going to use these 2 little guys here to create butterflies. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to fold my cardstock in half. Bring in a bone folder here. Then I'm going to bring in my paper trimmer. And we're going to cut this card off at 1 inch. So I'm going to use the dimensions on the side here just because it's going to be just a slight bit easier in this case. Line it up at 1 inch and then just snip that off, and that we're just going to toss. Or we can save it as a scrap and die cut something out of it. All right, so we have this, and now we're going to fold up a piece of scrap paper, and I'm going to bring that in and put it inside my card. So as I'm doing my stamping, I'm not going to get any ink on the actual inside of my card. And since we're using photopolymer stamps, I'm going to bring in my piercing mat just to give me that little extra cushion under those types of stamps. Okay, so we're going to start with our sentiment. And we're going to ink that up in Memento Black. Of course, any black would work. Make sure it's good and inky. And we're going to kind of stamp it mostly down here near the bottom of the card and to the right edge. Okay, got that part done. I'm going to move these stamps out of the way as I use them, otherwise I make a mess. Okay, then we're going to start with our blueberry bushel. And I've got that large, bold image, and I'm going to stamp it off one time. And then I'm going to come in here and kind of stamp it so that it's sort of off the edge a little bit. Come back in, ink it up one more time, stamp it off, and then we're going to put it down here at the bottom. I think I want it to be like so. There we go. Move that one out of the way. Here's one of the detailed stamps in that row of the rows. And I'm going to, and I'm not sure if it even matters how you line this up. I don't even know if it's designed to line up. I've just been kind of randomly throwing it on there, and I find that I like how it looks. So we'll stamp that. Now we're done with the blueberry. So I like to press a little bit that way, pull, and close. And now we've got our Mango Melody. And now this one I have not lubed up yet with wax paper, so it's going to be a little hard to open and a little hard to slide into place. As you can see, the wax paper makes a huge difference, so I highly recommend doing that with your new ink pads as you get them. And we're going to stamp this off one time. Come in here down in the corner, ink it up again, stamp it off, and bring it over here, like so. Move that out of the way. Again, just kind of push from that direction and then slide. You can see how difficult that is to slide without using... Oh, I'm not even done with it. Whoops, I wasn't quite done. Bring in the detailed stamp, and we'll just kind of stamp this over the top like that. Now we're done. So we're going to close this up, and you can see how much harder it is to close that since I have not lubed this up with the wax paper yet. Okay, now we're going to bring in our shaded spruce, and that one I have lubricated. And we've got this little image that could be a butterfly wings or a leaf. And we're going to start by just adding a leaf right here. And then without re-inking it, I'm going to bring it down here and add it to that little flower. And this one I'm going to stamp here, but you'll see I kind of stamped off. So I am going to need to re-ink this because if I don't, I'm going to get that line. So we're going to re-ink it. We're going to stamp it off, and then we're going to come in and hit this little guy right here. All right, so we are done with our shaded spruce. Now we're going to hit the Melon Mambo, and we're going to bring in the two butterfly images. This little guy here, I'm going to stamp off once, bring it in, ink it up, stamp it off, bring it in over on this side, and then his body, we're just going to do full strength. And since they're photopolymer, I can see through them and see where I want to add his body, like so. And I actually think I might add one more Mango Melody image over here on the edge. So let's bring this back in. I need to lube that up for sure. Okay, and now we're going to take the card out because I don't want to stamp on my piercing mat. Again, we're going to stamp off one time, and then we're just going to kind of right here on the corner, I think. And then we'll bring in the overlay and stamp that. Okay, I think that looks great. Get rid of those pieces. Get all my stamps out of the way so I don't get ink on my hands, which will transfer to my project. I'm going to bring in my soft seafoam strip, bring my scratch paper back in. So we will open up our soft seafoam. And this is that kind of blotchy image that I showed you earlier. It actually, I think, goes with another stamp to make some flowers. So we're going to stamp it off just one time. and then press it onto the paper. And you can, oh, whoops, I'm picking up some of that pink. Well, we're going to stop that right now. We're going to open this up. And we're going to flip this over, clean that off, and we're going to try it again. Just inking it up, stamping it off each time. And then I'm going to flip it, and I'm going to stamp again to kind of fill in those gaps where there may not have been any image. And we'll finish it. I just wanted a little bit of a pattern on here, not a whole bunch that it takes away from being kind of plain, but I just wanted to add a little something. So now we can go ahead and add this to the inside of the card. Get some snail there. And we're just going to line this up with top and the bottom and that edge. Okay, press that down. Looks good on both sides. So we've got that. I'm going to wrap some ribbon around. Now in my first version, I did use the Blueberry Bushel 1/8 inch grosgrain, but I'm going to try using this metallic in Shaded Spruce since it matches the color that we used on the front. So we're just going to bring some ribbon through here, and we're going to tie a knot. Give myself some excess ribbon here. And now I find tying knots around cards can be a little difficult, so we'll see how I do. Yeah, that worked out pretty good. And then I'm going to slide it so that it's up near the top. And we're going to trim that off. A little bit there, a little bit there. And then we got to do the inside piece. So I'm going to go ahead and add a little die cut flower. So I'm going to get to my big shot. So I am going to first peel off this, one of the backing. The printed side is what you peel off. And then you can lay that on your piece of scrap cardstock. And then I'm going to place my flower on top of this. I'm going to layer it on my platform with my precision base plate, cover it with a cutting pad, and die cut it, so I'll be right back. All right, I've got that little flower die cut here. I'm going to bring in my foam mat and my roller, put the die back on where it's kind of supposed to go, give it a little brush. That will kind of push out all of the little bits that are stuck inside, and then I can use it. All right, so this has the adhesive backing on it, so I'm just going to peel that off, and then this is all sticky all over. And so that I can just really super easily just place it on my card right there in the middle. So now on the front, I'm going to use my bone folder one more time here, get that nice and crisp. We're going to add some rhinestones. Bring out my rhinestones here. And I like to use, let's try scissors. Sometimes I use a piercing tool, sometimes I use scissors. We're going to see what's going to work better. Did that get the sticky dot off? Because I don't have any fingernails to pry these off the sheet. So I have to use other methods. And scissors or the piercing tool seem to work pretty good. You just want to make sure that you pick up the little piece of adhesive that's stuck on the back of the rhinestones when you do this. All right, so the card is done. Now we're going to kind of put some of this stuff out of the way because now we're going to bring in our envelope. And we're going to just decorate the bottom of it just like we did, whoops, the front of the card. So we'll bring in a few of our inks. Got the Blueberry Bushel, Shaded Spruce, the Mango Melody, and the Melon Mambo. And we're going to bring the stamps back in. So I've got the large one in the Blueberry Bushel. We'll kind of do that down here in the corner. Bring in the overstamp. That done. Bring back in our mango stamp. Stamp it off, maybe right there. Whoops, a little sticky. Bring in the overstamp. Do that. And we've got the leaf stamp. What did I do with the leaf stamp? Oh, right here. Add some leaves. And maybe tiny one up here. And then we'll do our butterfly. Maybe right there. Okay. So we can clean up our mess. If you guys enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. I always appreciate that. It helps me out and lets me know that whatever content I've created for you that day you enjoy. And you can subscribe to my channel right down here in the corner. Here is our completed project. These items will be available in the catalog starting June 1st. So get to my store at shoppingwithbarb.com and get yourself your own Garden Impressions suite with the stamp set and the paper and the dies, and then you can create this gorgeous card yourself. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day.